Morning, everybody. Good morning. You able to hear me? Just 1 second, guys. I'll just be back. 1 second. So finally, the last one day has come. Tomorrow. Last one day has come. Tomorrow is the showdown day. Don't mess it up today. I always tell the students, don't mess it up today. To be honest, I was not even keen on taking a class today because I didn't want to make students tensed. मुझे और क्लास भी नहीं लेना था. But yeah. Then I thought, ठीक है, कर ही लेंगे when students are waiting. Match the following list 1 and list 2. Select the correct answers from the codes given below. Mir Yarz, Mir Malik, Mir Tozak, Mir Atish, Mir Manzil. Answer. Good morning, Ramya. Good morning, Varsha. Good morning. Good morning, Ajay. Good morning, AW. Good morning, Madhav. Guys, are you not able to see me? Good morning, Sita 3. I'm visible, no? I'm pretty sure I'm visible. Ramya, just refresh once. The answer here is C. C. Mirrors, in charge of petitions. Mirema, in charge of privy pairs. Mira Tozak, in charge of royal ceremonies. He is only also called Dabir. Dabir. Good morning, Brapuna. Consider the following list 1 and list 2. Batai, Kankut, Nasak, Zapti, Dhasala. This is very easy to answer. You should know this. The revenue systems, medieval India. Revenue systems of medieval India. Yes, Jan. Today I'm free. No classes. Let's meet at 2 o'clock. Answer here is B. B. Batai, assessment of land on base of measurement. Not correctly matched, no? Measurement के basis पे उसको जब्ती कहते हैं. Okay? Which of the following is correctly matched? Polaj, Chachar, Banjar, Parauti. The land revenues of Akbar's period. Land revenue systems of Akbar's period. Answer is A. Polage is currently collect every year done. Charge Parauti is the one which is left fallow for 1 or 2 years. Chachar is the one which is left uncultivated for 4 or more years. Banjar is the one which is left fallow for 3 or 4 years. Oh, sorry, uncultivated. Banjar is uncultivated. Chachar is left fallow for 3 or 4 years. Banjar for 4 or more years. Yes. Match the following: Patwari, Kanungo, Amalguzar, Karkon, Khazanadar. Revenue official at district level, revenue official at taluk level, revenue official at the village level, treasurer at the district level, and accountant. Answer is DDD. Patwari, village level official, Kanungo, estimator, taluk level wala, Amal Guzar, revenue official at the district, Kharkun, the accountant, Khazanadar, treasurer, D. Match the following: Mohar, Shahrukhi, Patta, Kabuliyat, and Kasba. Answer is C. Yes. Another Varsha, all of you. Right. See. Mohar, Mughal gold coin. Very important. Highest value. Kasba settlement, market town. Shahrukhi silver coin, Patta. Title deed, Kabuliyat, revenue acceptance, the contract. Which of the codes given below are correctly matching? Babar, Humayun, Akbar, Jahangir, Shah Jahan, Aurangzeb. Basically, their burial grounds. Kabul, Delhi, Sikandra, Lahore, Agra, Aurangabad. Very easy. No, but Mohar was the highest. Mohar was the highest denomination. I mean, Shah was only for a small period, no? Continuously 9th, na? Mohar is the highest value gold coin. Babar, Kabul, no? B. Right, you're right. Babar is Kabul. This everybody know. Arambagh. Humayun, Delhi. Akbar is in Sikandra. Jahangir is in Lahore. Shah Jahan is in Agra and Aurangabad in Aurangzeb in Aurangabad. That's why B. It's very easy answer question. Consider the following, and this is too complicated for you. I don't want to create trouble for you guys. Ignore such questions. Ganj, Hath, Milki, Nazarana, Watan. Proprietorship of land, gift from an inferior to a superior, hereditary lands, market or trade centers, periodic village fair. Ganj, Ganj. Exactly. यूपीएससी में क्वेश्चन छोड़ना भी एक आर्ट है, and every artist must know this art. Mandatory. Answer is C. One day, Ganj, market or trade center, heart, periodic village fair. This very easy to guess actually. We also do. Government keeps doing this village heart, gaon heart, dihati heart, and all that, right? वही हाल. Whom in the following was murdered? Abu Fazl, the official historian of Akbar, at the instigation of Prince Salim in 1602. Mirza Ghiyas Beg, Bir Singh Bundela, Raja Todarmal, and Raja Bhagwan Das. Answer this guy, I'm just coming. One second. Bir Singh Bundela. Another instance of Bir Singh Bundela. He did this. Next. Which revenue system among the following is also known as Bandobasti system? Zapti, Dasala, Nasak, and Kankut. Bandobasti, Bandobasti. Zapti, Dasala, no? Zapti system. Zapti system is basically what we used to call as Bandobasti. Todarmal's Zapti system, where the land was actually perfectly calculated. See, okay, AW and all others, those who are writing prelims tomorrow. Number one, एक तो definitely do carry only a black color ballpoint pen, black ballpoint pen, mandatorily. Number two, bubbling point. I mean, depending on the bubbling thing, I've always been of the idea that every 10 questions or two pages, I'll do bubbling. And if you have even 10% doubt about a question or its answer, then leave the bubbling for later. Don't rush. Don't just rush. Next, answer is A. For Zapti system, answer is A. What is the original name of Noor Jahan? Very easy question. Mehrunisa, the daughter of Itmadud Dawla. Mehrunisa, daughter of Itmadud Dawla. Who among the following Mughals is said to have tumbled in life and tumbled out of it while coming down the steps of his library? ये कौन था? Tumbled all his life only to tumble to death. Humayun, no? Humayun. Humayun, the lucky fellow. Second son of Babar. uh, and he was also the second Mughal. And he ascended the throne of the Mughal Empire at the age of 23. He ruled from 1530 to 1540 and later again in 1555-56. See, three battles are important in Humayun's life. Number one is Battle of Chausa, Battle of Kannauj. Kannauj is also called Bilgram. In both Battle of, we'll complete today, Viceroys, okay. In both Battle of Chausa and Battle of Bilgram, Humayun was defeated by Sher Shah Sur. Then came Battle of Machiawada. It was in Battle of Machiawada, Humayun reoccupied the Mughal state from the Sur dynasty descendant Sikandar Shah Sur. Okay? हुमायूं के जिंदगी में तीन बैटल थे. I mean, important battles. Battle of Chausa, Battle of Kannauj, and Battle of Machiabara. Humayun was a scholar, lover of art. Humayun was also trusted to a fault. I mean, he himself fell off from one of the constructions he only did. His tomb is the pinnacle of Mughal architecture, one of the first examples of it, and also is now a UNESCO World Heritage Site. It is, see, Humayun tomb complex is also generally considered the Mughal family's royal tomb complex. During the reign of which Mughal was tobacco introduced in India? Aurangzeb, Jahangir, Akbar, Shah Jahan. Jahangir. Tobacco was a novelty in the first decade of the 17th century because its usage became widespread in 1617. Jahangir had even issued a decree forbidding smoking of tobacco to protect health of the people and control the habit for everybody except for himself. So Jahangir himself used to smoke, everybody else was banned from it. Which Mughal is credited with prohibiting sati unless the widow herself of her own free will persistently decided? I think this is a repeated, no? Yesterday, day before yesterday, we've seen this. I think this Mughal is Akbar. Akbar. According to Anne-Marie Schimmel, the Mughal Emperor Akbar was actually averse to the practice of sati. However, he expressed admiration for the widows who wished to be cremated herself with the deceased husband. So he issued the decree that sati, if the woman wants to do it herself, she can, but nobody should be forced. Who among the following Englishmen was given the title of Khan by Jahangir? Thomas Roe, Ralph Fitch, Hawkins, and Newby, commonly known as the English Khan. Hmm. It was Hawkins. William Hawkins, who lived in the court of Mughal Emperor till 1611. He used to be called the English Khan, not Thomas Roe. He died a couple of years later. Hawkins used to be called English Khan, not Thomas Roe. I know people got confused between Thomas Roe. Yes, Thomas Roe came in 1612. In 1607, William Hawkins commanded the ship Hector for East India Company, came on a voyage to India via Surat and Aden. He arrived in August 1608. He tried to convince the Mughals. He also had to face severe oppression, severe protests from the Portuguese who were already there. And Akbar, remember this for prelims, very important. Akbar was a contemporary of Queen Elizabeth I. Jahangir was a contemporary of James. Okay. East India Company was established during Akbar's period. East India Company came to India during Jahangir's period. These are two different things. Okay. What was Duapsa Siapsa and who introduced it? A revenue system introduced by Akbar, a decorative method introduced by Shah Jahan, a special rank having higher Sawar than Zat introduced by Aurangzeb, a sub rank of Sawar introduced by Jahangir. It is actually a revenue ranking, guys. A sub-rank of Sawar introduced actually by Jahangir. Remember, Duapsa Siapsa was actually a sub-rank because by the time of Jahangir's period, there were actually too many Mansabdars and too many Jagirs. They had become like the war of Jagirs and war of Jagirdars are actually started. Jahangir introduced a new position of Sabar rank. Introducing it, a part of Sabar was termed as Duapsa Siapsa. Basically, the idea was to create super Mansabdars, sub Mansabdars. Based on the rank, they would need to maintain certain amount of sources. Higher the rank, greater the land. Jagir of the Mughals is equal to which one of the Delhi Sultans? Good morning, Sean. Mughal period में Jagir is equivalent to what in Delhi Sultanate? Right, precisely. Isn't it Ikta? Ikta of Delhi Sultanate, yes. Who among the following Mughal ministers was the paymaster general as well? Diwan, Mir Bakshi, Khan Saman, Vakil, the main paymaster general. I mean, the one who takes care of revenue. Answer is B. The main paymaster general for the forces is Mir Bakshi. Bakshi. Yes, good morning, Yadgiri. Who were the Harkaras of Mughal period? Enforcers of public morals, news writers and reporters, secret letter writers and informers, spies and special couriers. Harkaras. By the way, you've seen the news yesterday? UPSC finally did give clarification about the Aisha. Aisha Makran. Aisha Makrani, yes. And now UPSC is going to put criminal cases on them. The two, Sushil and Aisha, who actually faked UPSC admit cards and interviews. There was no mistake. The girl, Aisha Makrani, basically created a forged document of admit card. Yeah, Tushar, yes. They created a fake document. Fake admit card, fake report, fake result, everything fake. Devas ki jo Aisha Fatima of Devas was right. Makrani was wrong. The only problem, UPSC went very bad on media. यूपीएससी आई मीन प्यार से धमकी दे गई मीडिया को, हमसे दूर रहना वरना बहुत मारेंगे, ये वाला धमकी मिला मीडिया को. Exactly. I mean, the way I saw the entire issue is criminals are becoming dumber and dumbest. I mean, how did they even think that they'll just get away with this? Nay, and suppose if you have a fake rank, or if you have created a fake profile and fake rank, at least don't market it. No, don't give interviews to coaching centers about topper strategy when your topper is actually a fake. एक तो चोरी किया और ऊपर से उसको मार्केटिंग भी किया. कितना बेवकूफ हो सकते हैं लोग. Seriously. Answer is D, guys. Basically, they are spies and special couriers. Harkars. Yeah, they generally carry out I mean, I carry out the idea of messaging. The Urdu word harkati. Yeah, harkat. Same. Same logic. In which language did Babar write his memoirs Tuzuke Babri? कौन सी भाषा में बाबर ने लिखा है? तुजुके बाबरी. तुर्की. चकता है तुर्की. Answer is D. Tuzuk Babri is autobiography of Zahiruddin Muhammad Babar, the founder of the Mughal Empire in India. Babar wrote it in Turkish language, and Mughal imperial officer Abdul Rahim Khan Khanan, son of Baram Khan, Khan Khanan Mughal Khan, translated it into Persian. Tuzuk Babri is actually written in Chagatai Turki. Babar was the first conqueror of Central Asia to be born on, he was born on Feb 14, 1483 on Valentine's Day. His memoirs in Persian is known as Babar Nama. At the age of 12, he became the ruler of Fargana, his hometown, the present day Uzbekistan. But eventually, he lost it. He lost it to Shabani Khan. Then Babar fought four battles: Battle of Panipat, Battle of Kanwa, Battle of Chanderi, Battle of Ghaggar. All the four he had victories. Jitna you and me are from India, Babar is also from India. After Babar, the Babar's biggest success was the Battle of Panipat 1526, in which Babar was able to successfully eliminate the uh, Lodi's forces, marking the beginning of the Mughal era and the end of Lodi dynasty. Babar used two innovations, Tulguma and Araba, also called the Rumi technique of warfare, of using carts, bullock carts, as a shield for his troops. Ibrahim Lodi also eventually died in the very battlefield. Babar had nearly just about 15,000 forces, whereas Lodi had anywhere between 40,000 to 1 lakh forces. I mean, Lodi was huge, but still he got defeated. Pick out the ruler of Gujarat who was a contemporary of Humayun and who died in the scuffle with Portuguese on board one of their ships. Baz Bahadur, Muhammad Shah, Bahadur Shah, Hussein Shah. I mean, Portuguese, the king who died under the fighting Portuguese, contemporary of Humayun. This time it's a record. As of now, I've seen nearly 30 institutes have claimed that Ishita Kishore belongs to their institute. That's like a new record. It's a whole new level of record. 30 different institutes have worked together to give one rank one. That's an amazing job. अरे हमारे यहाँ तो in Hyderabad, there are two, three institutes which are like only one floor wala institute. I mean, one, to be honest, they are basically not an institute. There's an office with a classroom. Even they are saying that Ishita Kishore studied in their institute. Uma Harati, even state level public service commission wale bhi are claiming that Uma Harati was their class. जबकि I mean Uma Harati to everybody In at least in Hyderabad and Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, every institute, there are approximately 300 institutes here. 299 people have claimed it. That one person is basically government of Telangana Institute. Basically, there needs to be a regulation. It's basically bad marketing. The government must get in. Consumer forum must get in and attack the fake marketing. Hmm. Answer is Bahadur Shah. Bahadur Shah, no. Bahadur Shah is the contemporary of Humayun. Hemu, the Hindu general who led the Afghan forces against Mughals in the second battle of Panipat, was the general of which the following Sur rulers: इस्लाम शाह, मोहम्मद शाह, सिकंदर शाह, शेर शाह. हाँ, पर एक और इंस्टीट्यूट है who's literally saying that one third of the ranks came from their institute. मतलब यहाँ बाकी लोग सब बेकार कैसे बैठे हुए बस भजन कर रहे घर में बैठ के राम राम करके बस. मतलब बिल्कुल ऑनलाइन बैठ के they contributed one third of the results. I'm pretty sure UPSC is like मजाक है जिंदगी में. I wonder who comes with these numbers. मतलब ऐसे कंप्यूटर पे बैठ के बोला होगा इंकी पिंकी पांकी एक नंबर दे दो एंड देन ही गॉट लाइक 333. हाँ मैं लग गया 333 लग गया बस खत्म. मतलब सिकंदर शाह सॉरी आदिल शाह मोहम्मद आदिल शाह हिंदू जनरल हेमू नो हेमू आदिल शाह. Hemu remained a he was actually very important minister of Adil Shah Suri of Suri dynasty. And in 1556, after Hemu occupied Delhi, and eventually Hemu was overthrown in the second battle of Panipat by Akbar and Baran Khan, whose outrageous behavior is said to be mainly responsible for the revolt of Baran Khan against Akbar. Man Singh, Pir Muhammad, Birbal, Todarmal. See, there's one of my old students. I mean, obviously, she's not my alone student. I think her name is Deena Dastagir. I took classes for her in Ilan IS Academy of Kerala. History ke, I mean, I took only ancient medieval for her. Ancient medieval art and culture, Ilan mein. Deena was a very good student. I mean, Kerala cadre. She's a Malayali student. She's a very good student and she was very open. After the result, she basically put on public posting on social media saying, I mean, I've studied in these places. So she said she studied at iLearn for PCM, etc., and couple of other institutes, she told. And she openly told in public that other than these institutes, if anybody else claims me to be your student, I'm going to take legal action. सबके सब बंद कर दिया. Nobody had the guts to take her name or fake name. Awesome. You'll find her in my friends list. She was very clear. She was like, I took coaching in only these places, and any others who are fakely claiming me, don't. All the toppers have to come down to telling that. ये सब नौटंकी बंद करो. Answer is B. Pir Muhammad. Baram Khan was a Persian Turk and Shia Muslim. He served under Babur Humayun Akbar. And execution of the governor Tardi Beg, who failed to defend Delhi against him, was actually the reason why relations between Pir Muhammad and Baram Khan got ruined completely. See, Baram Khan was a guardian mentor for Akbar. Unfortunately, Baram Khan was also a major challenge for Akbar. He's been serving the Mughal Empire from the time he's been 16, played a significant role in Humayun invading Punjab and Delhi and defeating Afghans. After the death of Humayun, he guided the 14-year-old Akbar and mainly to consolidate the Mughal kingdom. Bairam was murdered in Gujarat while he was on his way to Hajj in Makkah. Mm. Pick out the first and last territorial conquest of Akbar, respectively, from the following: Malwa, Asirgarh, Gujarat, Balochistan, Malwa, Kashmir, Gharkatanga, Kabul. रैंकर्स एंड टॉपर्स अक्सर ये भूल जाते हैं कि आपकी रैंक की कहानी 3-4 महीने में खत्म हो जाती है एंड इवेंचुअली यू आर नथिंग बट अ स्टूडेंट इन लवाजना just because you are say rank 10 or rank 20 you don't get directly appointed as district collector or secretary or joint secretary and eventually papers do forget you लोग ये कभी नहीं समझते it was actually Malwa and Asirgarh. But remember, Akbar ke period mein, there were two most important and famous battles which had been popularized in the Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav period series of publications. And that was the um, Battle of Haldi Ghati against Rana Pratap and Battle of Gharkatanga, occupation of Gharkatanga against Rani Durgavati. Yes, I mean, as I'll tell you, one of the, I think last year's rank one said, I liked his post. He said, toppers don't sell yourself because you're just too early to get corrupt. I really like that quotation. He literally said this कि अभी बिकने के लिए टाइम है बिक मत जाना Who of the following Rajputs were the first to voluntarily submit to Akbar? Hadas, Sisodias, Rathod, and Kachawahas. Answer is D, Kachawahas. Kachawahas were the first to actually submit quickly to Akbar. Jalaluddin Muhammad. Jalaluddin Muhammad. And his son was Salim. Nuruddin Muhammad Salim. That's why Anarkali is called, I mean, sorry, Mehrunisa was called Noor Jahan. The shine, Noor's, the world of Noor. Who among the following nobles of Akbar was killed by the Afghan rebels in one of the Mughal campaigns to suppress them? Man Singh, Todarmal, Birbal, Bhagwan Das. Raja Birbal. Birbal was actually killed on his way. Birbal was actually killed on his way. Who led the Mughal forces in the Battle of Haldi Ghati against Pratap Singh Rana of Mewar? Akbar, Prince Salim, Pir Muhammad, Man Singh. Battle of Haldi Ghati. Who fought? Battle of Haldi Ghati. They do, Parth. That's the reality. Answer is D. 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 Battle of Haldi Ghati was actually the shortest battle. Fought between Rana Pratap and Akbar's army led by Man Singh Man. It lasted only for 4 hours. In fact, after this battle, um, Rana Pratap actually ran away, escaped. Rana Pratap refused to accept Akbar's suzerainty 6 times, resisting the rule of a foreigner. His loyal horse is called Cheta, who was known as Cheta. And Rana Pratap eventually died of injuries. He was fatally um, wounded in the Battle of Haldi Ghati. Later, May he died. Okay. Exactly. He had 11 wives, of whom his favorite was Ajabdeep Kumar. He died of injury sustaining a hunting accident at the age of 57. Razia was nominated by her father Iltutmish to succeed him, successful in coming to the throne immediately after her father's death. Not only the only woman of Delhi Sultanate, but also the only daughter to be preferred to sons by any ruler of India. Very favorable to the Abyssinian slave Yakub Khan, and in turn received invaluable assistance from him. Finally deposed by the nobles and murdered by some bandits in Khaital. Of these statements, all are true. 1, 2, 3, 4 are true. 2, 3, 4, 5 are true. 1, 3, 4, 5 are true. Answer is D, D, D. D, yes, D. Shravan Kumar Das, D. 1, 3, 4, 5. She was protested by Rukunuddin Firoz, no? Brother. She did not come to power so easily. In order to improve the armed forces, Alauddin Khilji introduced branding of horses, descriptive roles for soldiers, a regular muster of the army, organization of the army on decimal system, abolition of iktas of royal troopers. Choose the correct answers from the codes given below. Answer is C. No, you need to increase your screen resolution. For me, I am streaming at 1 second 720p. So you can answer this. Aladdin, reduce the prices of essential commodities and establish separate markets for goods, reduce land revenue demand of the state by eliminating all middlemen, resumed several types of land grants such as enams and waqfs, reduce the state's share of war booty to 20% from 80%, prohibited matrimonial alliances among the nobles without his prior permission. Select the correct quotes from the answers given below. Answer is C. 1, 3, and 5. Last question for the day. Firoz Shah Tughlaq set up an employment bureau and introduced the practice of granting pension to old people, ordered the inclusion of names of all previous Delhi Sultans except that of Aibak in the Kutba, withdrew the exception of Brahmins from payment of jizya and collected 10% of gross production from peasants as irrigation tax, abolished about 23 taxes or cesses like house tax, salt tax, etc. on the grounds of it being un-Islamic, conquered Jajnagar or Odisha, and founded the city of Jaunpur. Answer is A. A. Answer is A. All of them. He established an employment bureau mainly to provide employment to the people. He also vehemently ordered the inclusion of all the Delhi Sultan and King names except Aibak because Aibak was actually a slave and not a king by himself. Aibak was a slave and not by king himself, not a king himself. He abolished 23 taxes because he considered most of them to be Beshara, not with the Shariat. And he withdrew the exemption given to Brahmins on the payment of jizya and collected 10% gross produce from the peasants as irrigation tax. Okay. Which of the following Delhi Sultanate sought and secured the letter of investiture from Caliph? Qutbuddin Aibak, Aladdin Khilji, Iltutmish, Muhammad Tughlaq, Firoz Shah Tughlaq. It must be C. C. Iltutmish was the first. Then he Muhammad bin Tughlaq. Then Firoz Shah Tughlaq. Uh, Fatwa Mansuriyat or the investiture ceremony. Along with these people, also Balban took it. Ghiyasuddin Balban also took it. Aibak never took any approval. That's why these people are called sultans. During the period of Delhi Sultanate, Majlis-e-Aam or Majlis-e-Khilafat means Council of Ministers was formed by Wazir, Amir-e-Kohi, Arz-e-Mamalik, Sadr-e-Sudur, Amir-e-Hajib and Amir Munshi. ऐबक कभी भी सुल्तान नहीं था. ऐबक गुलाम ही था. Qutbuddin Aibak was always a ghulam, lived a ghulam, died a ghulam. He was never a king. Majlis-e-Aam or Majlis-e-Khilafat is actually made up of Wazir, Arz-e-Mamalik, Amir, Sadr-e-Sudur and Amir Munshi. Amir Munshi. Wazir, Arz-e-Mamalik, Sadr-e-Sudur, Amir Munshi. Okay. Which of the following words are ascribed to Delhi Sultan? Sovereignty is not conferred upon every man but is placed on the elect. I mean, जिसको चुना गया उसको आता वो सुल्तान है. Aladdin Khilji, Iltutmish, Muhammad bin Tughlaq, and Sadr Sudur is basically the in charge of ecclesiastical affairs or religious affairs, in charge of all the religious affairs. Generally, it is the Sadr who will make sure that the entire kingdom is running as per the Shariat. Simple logic. Sikandar Sen is Alexander II. Answer is C. Muhammad bin Tughlaq. Sovereignty is not conferred upon every man but is placed on the elects. It is given mainly to the person Muhammad bin Tughlaq. Okay, guys, we'll go on a quick 5 minutes break. We'll be back and we will do the Viceroys. We'll finish off the Viceroys. I'll see you in 5 minutes. Let us go on a quick 5 minutes break. I'll be back. Okay. Okay, guys. So we've got to check the Viceroys. Let us have a quick discussion on Viceroys. Um, we need to discuss from Lord Reading. Okay. See, Lord Reading, again, a typical liberal. He was previously the Chief Justice of England. He eventually became the Viceroy of India and also the Foreign Secretary. In fact, this guy was the last, could say, liberal governor. He was the last liberal leader. Lord Reading succeeded Chelmsford as Governor General and Viceroy of India in the year 1921. He was born into a poor Jewish family but rose through the ranks to become Chief Justice of England through the talent and hard work. And the British faced many challenges during Reading's tenure. In fact, some of his major challenges, I mean, the way we generally should understand is, Reading was actually paying the price of the mistakes of his and previous viceroys. I mean, all the errors the previous viceroys have done, Reading was coming to pay the price. Although he was a liberal, he was the most hated. Equally, in 1910, he was appointed Attorney General. Reading's tenure in India coincided with Khilafat movement, non-cooperation movement, as well as other local uprisings and revolutionary terrorism. He tried a lot for political conciliation, but he could not. He imprisoned Ali brothers in 1921, Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi in 1924. He also used brute force to put down the Sikh rebels, control the Gadar expansion into India, and all this he tried. Nothing worked out. Most famous event during Viceroy Reading's period was the Mopla Rebellion. Mopla Rebellion happened in Kerala as a parallel to the non-cooperation movement. Abdul Muhammad Hadi and other leaders who were actually peasant leaders, they were fighting against Janmi Hindu landlords. Now, Mopla Rebellion actually started as a peasant movement against landlord oppression, but slowly and eventually it converted itself into a Muslim versus Hindu dispute. Muslim farmers versus Hindu landlords. The movement was eventually successfully suppressed by the government, and the government was forced to raise the special police battalion called the Malabar Police Battalion. And this year, remember, Mopla Rebellion has now been removed as part of the national struggle or movement. Right? Reading के period में ही चौरी चौरा incident happened on the 4th of February 1922. This year marked 100 years of this prelims will mark the 100 years of Chauri Chora incident. Protesters of non-cooperation movement burned down a police station, killing all its occupants. Nearly 22, but some books say 23 policemen were killed in the incident. As a direct result of the incident, Mahatma Gandhi, who was adamantly opposed to violence, put a sudden and abrupt end to non-cooperation movement. British colonial authorities, obviously, this part, remember, the British colonial authorities sentenced 19 demonstrators to death, 14 to life imprisonment. These are all people who were involved in the Chauri Chora incident. 19 demonstrators were put to death, 14 were put to life imprisonment. The Swaraj Party was actually founded in 1923. Again, this year marks 100 years of Swaraj Party as well, during Lord Reading's period, by Motilal Nehru, C.R. Das, N.C. Kelkar, G.S. Gharpade, and S. Srinivas. They wanted to create something called the Congress Khilafat Swaraj Party. And they shifted their focus to Swaraj within British Raj and decided to run office, enter legislatures, and bring change. That's why these people are also called pro-changers. Pro-changers. They wanted to enter the legislative councils and create trouble inside the council. The elections of 1923 were conducted under the Government of India Act 1919. That's why they are called pro-changers. On the other hand, a good number of congressmen, most of the congressmen did not want to participate in the elections, did not want to be part of the government. So those who did not want to be part of the government, they came to be known as no changers. Those who wanted to be part of government came to be known as pro changers. जो सरकार में इलेक्ट होके अंदर जाके सरकार में ट्रबल करना चाहते थे उनको नो चेंजर्स कहते हैं, उनको प्रो चेंजर्स कहते हैं. जो सरकार के साथ नहीं मिलना चाहते थे, those who did not want to participate in the elections, they came to be known as no changes. There's also one more interesting development during readings period, the growth of communal politics. In fact, Congress and Khilafat leaders completely split up during this period. In fact, they went to the point of creating the Hindu and the Muslim sides. Muslims eventually saw an increase in the Tabligh and Tanzims, the Muslim traditional ways, whereas Arya Samaj began Shuddhis. In fact, the Shuddhi movement also started in Arya Samaj, where the idea was to reconvert non-Hindus to Hinduism, beginning communalization in full-fledged in politics. Maulana Muhammad Ali, the president of the Kakinada session 1923, resigned from. In fact, Maulana Muhammad Ali resigned from Congress citing communal reasons. Pandit Madan Mohan Malaviya resurrected and re-established the idea of Hindu Mahasabha in 1923 during readings period, and Keshav Bharam Hegdewar founded the Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangh in 1925. RSS 1925. So 98 years. 2 years May, RSS will be celebrating its 100 years. Dr. Hegdewar was the member of Anushilan Samiti and Yugantar and was a very staunch nationalist. He joined the Indian National Congress at first, but soon left to found or to establish RSS. The plan was to educate Hindu youth in order for them to unite for the Hindu community. I mean, in fact, reading a period mein we see abrupt and very clear lines of distinction between Hindus and Muslims. Very clear and very specified lines of distinction between Hindus and Muslims. हम हिंदू हैं आप मुस्लिम हैं टाइप ऑफ ये भी हो गया. Kakori train conspiracy also happened during readings period, where the Hindustan Republican Association, Ram Prasad Bismil, Ashfaqullah Khan, Sachin Sanyal, Rajinder Lahiri, Chandrasekhar Azad, Roshan Singh, Swaran Singh, Bhagat Singh ke uncle. These people eventually looted a train near Kakori. The train was commonly called the 8 down train going from Saharanpur to Lucknow. Eventually, they were all arrested. A good number of them were imprisoned, and 30 people were arrested. Swaran Singh, Ram Prasad Bismil, Ashfaqullah Khan, Rajendra Lahiri, Roshan Singh were hanged. Others were put in jail. Chandrasekhar Azad escaped. भाग गए. बहरूपिया थे ना. Also, finally, in 1922, the Federal Public Service Commission was established. Now, guys, this is the ancestor of UPSC. During readings period only, this was established. 100 years. The Indian Civil Service exam began to be held in India as well, first in Allahabad and later in Delhi. Understood? It's been 100 years of conducting UPSC exam or civil service exam in India. The Civil Service Commission continued to conduct exam in London as well. Superior police officers were appointed by Secretary of State through competitive exam. In June 1893, England actually began conducting the first open competition exam. Imperial police was made available to Indians only in 1920, and examinations, Indians entering Imperial police began only in 1920, and exams began to be conducted from 1922. So reading ke period mein we see the, you can say, ancestor of UPSC. His term ended in 1926. He was appointed the Foreign Secretary of Ramsay MacDonald's nationalist government in 1931. But eventually reading resigned. Reading, the way I see reading is, reading was good guy, But since he was in such a complicated situation, some of his activities came to be becoming a bad activity. I mean, हर तरफ से दुश्मनों में घिरा हुआ था ये लॉर्ड रीडिंग. Because see, reading was paying the price of the previous Minto, Mayo, Curzon, Lytton, their pay, no? We've had a series of viceroys who were bad, who ill-treated Indians, who had no respect for Indians, etc. Right? Now, reading के बाद, from here, most of the viceroy you actually know in detail. I mean, this part, no, माहौल ही ऐसा था सब. रीडिंग बुरा आदमी नहीं था, पर उसका माहौल ही इतना मुश्किल था, उसको बुरा बनना पड़ा. Because India maybe there were too many could say streams of protest which were going on. Just too many. Lord Irwin succeeded. Uh, Lord Irwin. No, in fact, of all the viceroys who came to India, it was Irwin who had the most challenging phase. By the time Irwin came, हालत इतना बुरा था that Indians जिद्दी हो चुके थे. Indians had become adamant about their rights. Lord Irwin was actually son of the second Viscount of Halifax. I mean, he belonged to Halifax. He was appointed Governor General and Viceroy of India in 1926. He remained Indian Viceroy till 1931. During Irwin's viceroyalty, there were a lot of things which were happening, like Simon Commission report, Nehru report, All Party conference, Jinnah's 14 point, civil disobedience movement started, roundtable conferences happened. In fact, proper structured national movement happened during Irwin's period. And another serious challenge Irwin also had to face is the confusion between dominion status, autonomy, and independence. If you see, wasn't it during Irwin's period that Indians were now demanding Purna Swaraj, complete independence? Right? अभी तो साफ हो गया ना. Hmm. Lord Irwin. And there was one more problem with Irwin. Sometimes Irwin was the good guy, sometimes he was the bad guy. ये प्रॉब्लम था, इस पर क्लैरिटी नहीं था आदमी में. See, during Irwin's period, we see the coming of Simon Commission, Indian Constitutional Commission, being sent to India to understand the workings of Government of India Act 1919. And the only problem is this was a commission being created to advise or develop a constitutional framework for India, but Indians were not part of this commission. The commission had actually no Indian members in it. 7 members were drawn from 3 British political parties. So naturally, Simon Commission went through very strong protests. The Simon Commission was there to deprive Indians of their rights. यही logic था. I mean, यहीं पे गलती कर दी. Don't you think Irwin should have suggested at least one Indian in the Simon Commission? See, there are still 7 members. One Indian really can't do anything big because it's all done on majority basis. That's why sometimes it is said that Irwin always misunderstood the pulse of India. And how did Indians come back? The Secretary of State for India actually complained that Indians are incapable of making a constitution. Lord Birkenhead said this. When Indians opposed Simon Commission, Lord Birkenhead challenged Indians to create a constitution. So that's why we created Nehru Report with the leadership of Motilal Nehru. Nehru Committee Report, it was presented on August 28, 1928 at the Lucknow Conference in all-party conference. And once we gave the Nehru report during Irwin's period only, once Nehru report was given to them in December 1928, we gave British government 1 year. And we said within 1 year, if the Nehru report is not implemented and it is not, and fully we are not given independence, then we will declare Purna Swaraj. Now the funny part is, Nehru report was actually opposed by Jawaharlal Nehru, Subhash Chandra Bose, both, and Muhammad Ali Jinnah. But since it was an all-party conference, it won because of majority vote. But the main leaders actually opposed Nehru report because Nehru report was only demanding dominion status, not independence. In 1929, since Nehru report, Motilal Nehru report terms were not implemented, Congress met and declared Purna Swaraj resolution. Jawaharlal Nehru presided over this session on the Ravi River, banks of Ravi River, and 26th of January was declared as India's Independence Day. The report, since the report did not accept, Pune Swaraj resolution was passed, which was then approved by Calcutta Congress session. While this was happening on April 18, 1930, about 100, 120 school kids led by one teacher, Surya Sen, raided and occupied the Chittagong main armory, destroyed telegraph and telephone offices in Chittagong, and then murder of European officers, particularly at the Pahartali European Officers Club, commonly known as the Indian Republican Army, or the famous Chittagong Armory Raid. Yes, Master Da. Surya Sen established the Provisional Revolutionary Government. Eventually, Surya Sen was apprehended in 1933 after a trip. He was probably the last of the militant nationalists to be actually executed by the British. I mean, Surya Sen was the last. He was the last to be executed. यही पीरियड में Gandhi started civil disobedience movement. Dandi March, civil disobedience movement. In fact, the speciality of Dandi March was Gandhi actually told the British 1 day before, I mean 1 week before, that he is going to start the Dandi March. Irwin ignored it. Irwin was like, हाँ क्या कर लेगा types. वहीं इरविन ने गलती कर दी. Irwin's biggest mistake was that. Eventually, Dandi March became the single biggest, let's say, satyagraha movement in the history of India's national movement. Although originally only 72 people started it, nearly 10,000 people eventually joined it, and by the end of the day, 60,000 people had to be arrested. And then Gandhi was also had to be arrested. Finally, 1932, sorry, here 1932, Gandhi-Irwin Pact was signed. Under the Gandhi-Irwin Pact, Gandhi was to discontinue civil disobedience movement. Gandhi agreed, so Congress would participate in second roundtable conference. An ordinance was enacted in response to the civil disobedience movement to be withdrawn. Those detained in connection with civil disobedience movement were to be released. People living near the sea coast were to be allowed to collect duty-free salt, and the government was to allow peaceful picketing of liquor stores. And remember, Gandhi-Irwin Pact mein, the reason why Bhagat Singh could not be exempted is because Bhagat Singh was booked under IPC 302 criminal case. There is only one way Bhagat Singh could get exempted. Bhagat Singh himself had to send a request, putting a mercy petition to Viceroy. Then he can be given exemption or freedom. And अच्छी तरह जान लो और समझ लो, भगत सिंह है ये, नहीं करेगा. Absolutely no way. There's absolutely no way. Irwin, if you record the area time of Irwin, Irwin had big challenges in dealing with everything. Hindu, Muslim, Anglo-Indian extremist communities, native states all had claims to be settled prior to the passage of Indian Act. And Irwin had a situation where he had to handle diplomacy, he had to handle protests, he had to handle complaints, everything together. For him, everything was a challenge. Day-to-day administration was a challenge. Irwin was eventually succeeded by Lord Wellington. There are only three people who are important now: Lord Wellington, Lord Linlithgow, Lord Wavell, Lord Mountbatten. Wellington was here only for a short period, guys. His really most important contribution is successful conduction of the roundtable conferences, passing of Government of India Act 1935, and smooth implementation of Government of India Act 1935. Also, Wellington conducted the famous 1937 general elections. He gave the notification for it. Wellington के period में big challenges, civil disobedience movement. This you guys know in detail. Political situation in Bengal deteriorated completely. There was complete civil disobedience movement, and Gandhi himself did not start the movement directly. When Gandhi was requested to start a movement, he only sent a 11-point request. When those were rejected, only then he started the civil disobedience movement. Where this time the idea was not to support by the law. I mean to break the law, not just protest, but also to break the law. And during Willingdon's period only, we see the Ramsay MacDonald Communal Award, where depressed classes were now to be treated as a separate religious entity. It is also commonly famously known as the Ramsay MacDonald Award. Ramsay MacDonald Award, and Pune Pact was also signed. Pune Pact also remains a big event during the Lord Willingdon's period, where the depressed class separate vote bank was rejected, but reservations were given to the depressed classes as part of a demand by Ambedkar. Mahatma Gandhi and Ambedkar, on behalf of oppressed classes and upper caste Hindus, leaders discussed. And on 24th of September 1923, in Yaravada jail, pact was signed. Ambedkar on behalf of oppressed classes, Madan Mohan Malavya on behalf of Hindus and Gandhi. 148 seats were to be reserved only for the depressed classes, and McDonald's separate award was eventually gone. And Government of India Act 1935 also came into existence. This act, you all know this in very detail. One interesting act you guys should know is the Government of Burma Act 1935. This is big. The Government of Burma Act 1935 is where Burma was separated as a separate country, ending 51 years of India's rule as a province of India. In 1937, British separated Burma from British India and granted the colony a new constitution calling for fully elected assembly with many powers granting to the Burmese. Obviously, this could not really get implemented properly because many Burmese leaders thought Burma was purposefully being separated because any good reforms which are coming from British under the Congress's force, British wanted to avoid such reforms in Burma. So, so many Burmese felt that this was actually a ploy. Wellington eventually came, he left, and during his period, Burma was completely separated. In his total time, he imprisoned 80,000 Indian activists, and for him, his rule mostly saw only boycotts, protests, creation of secret organizations, terror organizations. And he was then followed by Lord Linlithgow. And most of you guys know Lord Linlithgow. Linlithgow's period had roundtable conferences completed. The No, there was no support, no protest, no demand. It was voluntarily given. The idea was India mein good reforms were coming under the Congress force. The idea Britishers had is such reforms must not get implemented in Burma. So they wanted to further suppress Burma and not let Congress extend into Burma. Linlithgow came, he tried to do a lot of stuff. He conducted the 1937 elections. He was also a member of the 1930, 32, 33 elections, roundtable conferences. Linlithgow ka period say you know very detailedly, no special event at all. Linlithgow, all that same events. See, 37 elections, the Quit India movement, the 1936 cabinet mission plan, Pakistan demand, 1940, छीन के लेंगे पाकिस्तान, खींच के लेंगे पाकिस्तान, 23rd of March 1940. And after Linlithgow came Wavell. Wavell saw the Quit India movement himself under his period. Wavell was a military man. Linlithgow के period में we also see very active World War II. World War II. Okay. And finally, 1947, after Linlithgow, Wavell came. Wavell was here for about a couple of years. And then eventually, Mountbatten was brought into India. These last three, four viceroys, you know, I mean, there's no special event about them. These are part of all our national movement was at peak. This is everybody knows. Yes, 39 to 45 was Linlithgow, 45 to 47 was Wavell, 47 to 47 was Mountbatten, then 47 to 48. Sorry, 47 to 48 was Mountbatten again, Governor General, not Viceroy. Okay. Having said that, let us end this session here, guys. All the best for all of you who are writing prelims tomorrow. Tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. no class. We will meet day after tomorrow morning. Tomorrow evening, I will definitely give you the key of history. We'll discuss. Okay. All the best. Do not worry. You've done fantastic preparation. You will clear the exam. Do your best. Just go write the exam. Don't stress yourself. Okay. Thank you. You have a nice day. I'll see you on I'll see you tomorrow with the key. Bye-bye, guys. Yes, abolition of monopoly, 1833. Yes. 1813. 1813. Not 33. 1813. Abolition of monopoly with exception is 1813. 1813. Okay. Thank you, guys. You have a nice day. Bye-bye.